but this one is.
Better graphics on their side.
Yeah, Valentine, Blatz Brewing, Milwaukee. It has been partially restored and varnished, which slightly detracts for some people, maybe not. Valentine was his first name, Blatz. On the inside, I believe it says 1912 or 1917, but that still is not what makes it rare. So it's over 100 years old. What makes it rare is it is one of these, not 24 bottle, but 36 small. The Crazy Picker Life with Wheeler, Dealer, and Banana Peeler. Good Monday morning, fellow pickers, would-be adventurers, Dealer with the Crazy Picker Life, Crazy Monday edition. Well, I knew it was going to be a busy Monday. I did get a couple hours nap, I guess you could call it. You should call it a nap. At what time do you call it a nap versus a night's sleep? I guess I'm going to call it a nap because I'm hoping to get another nap on the other end before my day starts. My watch says 12:14. I recently reset it a couple minutes faster because I was late everywhere. I think this is a little more accurate. Yeah, that's a little slow. 12:04 coming up. So we're just after midnight. Let's see if we got any other clocks that can tell me. So Monday morning, I got a couple choices coming early, which means like 5 a.m. I did get in a cycle of a while coming in at 5 a.m. Thing I don't like about that is I don't get it all done necessarily. On a weekend where I've been gone for a while and running orders, I got to come in at just after midnight and go till I feel like I'm in good shape. That one says 10:08 a.m. That must be coffee ninja time. That's not working. That one's 00. That's a stopwatch, but it says 11:15. That one's always 5 o'clock somewhere. That one's stuck at 5 o'clock. And I think the last one here, can't go by Apple computer time, that's always right. Yeah, this one's funny because it's about the same as that other one, 12:04. It's probably a minute slower on that one. All right, so the good old clocks are losing time and the rest of them. Does this all matter? No, it doesn't. It's pack order time. So the schedule of events when I get in like this, I start printing the invoices, then I'll go and check questions and put any notes on the invoices. Like I've got one this time that says don't ship until October 20th. Going to be gone on holiday till then. In Europe, Germany especially, if you're on vacation, they call it on holiday. That's a pretty good holiday, especially since we're only like the 26th. So on holiday for 24 more days, but I gotta have it. So I'll do that. After I get all those questions checked through, I'll have to re-highlight some for Wheeler. And at that point, it's time to pack orders. I think today I'm close to 50. Could be 42, 43, 44. I don't know. I think I'm close to 50. That's a lot. Time to get to work. Time to quit screwing around. Maybe I'll get back with you before I go home. Maybe I'll just get back with you when I go for the second nap, the second wind. It's going to be a good day. Hopefully for you too. Whoa, that's not so good. Took me way too long to print all these invoices. It's like 1:22 a.m. and I got all my invoices printed, all my questions answered, everything looked at. 46 orders. Just wanted to update that in case you were wondering. Time to pack. Pack, 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 pack. Gotta go home sometime. Pack now. Oh, I go a little loopy in the morning. Oh, quick update. Wow. BMX racing, belt buckle, 1983. If you ever see BMX and skateboarding belt buckles, especially if they're real ones from the 70s, 80s, pick those darn things up. That one's so quick, full price, $39.99 plus shipping. Woo, baby. Alright, so I know what you guys want to see. You know, does dealer lose it at 2:20 in the morning? The answer is yes. Here's what I do. I fill ice cubes. You know, you gotta have the Coffee Ninja ready to go. I don't know if I can do this. I can't do it. Hang on. Alright, there you go. Filled just like quick, you know, like a snap of a finger. Now I'm not gonna answer what I'm filling them with from this crazy cylinder. Oh my goodness, you're getting to see it all. There's where we get the ice to make iced coffee. There's our coffee supply. Okay, I know, you guys are tough. This is a tough audience here. Oh my gosh. What more do I need to do to entertain everybody? Oh, I just want to entertain. I don't want to pack orders. I just want to entertain. Look what's being built here. It is a package building. No? A package tower. Woo, yeah. When I send a package to China, especially if somebody provides the address partially in Chinese or all these symbols and such, you'll notice that the city, Beijing, is up there towards the top, and some of these other things have some Chinese symbols. What I'll do is I'll print that separately and put it on the side and just put the regular label so it goes through my editor on the top. Oh man. And I just feel better about that. So you don't have English speaking people always on the other side. There's a translation lost in certain labels, and of course some labels you can't fit everything on there, so you got to get a little bit creative. Some of those streets and symbols and stuff push it past the number of characters. Okay, so I'm starting to feel like this tower is getting bigger, but I'm starting to feel like the hour is getting longer, and I was hoping foolishly that I was going to get out of here at 5 a.m. It ain't happening. My stack is still long. Part of it is I'm not super fast tonight, but I had to pack these 3 UPSs, which always takes longer. One of them on the bottom is a fragile sign. I paid $10 for it and sold for $160, so it, you know, it's worth doing. It was a long sell. Oh, this is going pretty good. These were oddball things too. I'm starting to make more progress. Tower going up. Should we make some more ice cubes? No. I do think the caffeine is going to have to come out. It's going to be a long day. TV coming this morning at 7:30 a.m. too, on a truck from the west. For those of you who are wondering, I'm sure you're all wondering, where is the picker show where we show and tell everything we picked up this last weekend at the Jaunt? It's coming, and many of you guys know that I do a daily vlog and I meander on through my day. My day just started early today. I would anticipate a few more minutes of this kind of stuff, maybe less. And then I'm going to do school with my kids all day and take a nap. And by tonight sometime, I'll get all that stuff unpacked and we'll have a show and tell. So, almost 6 a.m. Not feeling too bad now, but I'm sure it's going to catch up. The tower is looking pretty good. I don't think I can go much higher. I've got some more expensive stuff mixed in here. Clock is always ticking. Got one more over there. It's pretty shaky, so it's looking pretty good. I'm gonna get done with these orders. Yes, I am. There you have it. 8-hour day in the books. Got a bunch of other things done, but certainly got the tower built. That's a pretty good day of orders. I guess the big thing for this set of orders is none of these were on sale. I didn't run a sale while we were gone, so I expected things to slow down. Well, they did a little bit maybe, but that's all full price. That's pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Time to go home and wait for my TV, eat breakfast, get the kids started with school, and feeling it. Definitely need a nap. We'll look at the items we got this weekend tonight, which actually will happen momentarily. Hang on to your hats. So, watching the presidential debate. Thought that was pretty interesting. I'm not going to talk about my political affiliation straight out. There was a strange question, or a question about if I'm watching the debates. It's kind of funny watching some of the questions come in. They sure are varied and interesting. I'll throw this out there. I get a lot of my political information from Alex Jones and InfoWars, and I know some of you will say, whoa, and others of you will say, whoa, but I've spent about, I'm 48 years old, ever since I was in high school, 16 years old, I've been reading about the history of this country. I've been led down the rabbit hole. I've researched, I've watched all different sources. I've watched lies and deceptions happen. I've spent money to buy books and to learn and to really discover. I've paid attention. I've watched trends. I've been in small business. I've been in religious organizations. I've been near enough to political discussions. I've formed a lot of opinions, okay? Our country is in trouble, and it is directly because of who we've elected over the last X number of years. And if we do not change the direction of this country, there won't be picking in the way it is now. They'll be picking for scraps. So, I know many of you out there are on board with this whole thing that I'm talking about in sort of a gingerly way. I'm not afraid to shake it up with anybody. I'll go belly to belly on politics or religion with anybody, but not on this channel right now. Okay. Anyway, it's quarter to 10 p.m. We haven't recorded the show and tell, although I'm ready to do it. I'm gonna have to do it in two parts. One, I'm still watching a little InfoWars and the follow-up. We're gonna talk about this out here, and we're gonna talk to Wheeler in there because somehow he got all the watches in there. Anyway, I wanted to share interesting, just a good sale. I don't remember what I paid for Starbucks here exactly. I think it was 35 bucks. It might have been as much as 40. I'm pretty sure I offered 30. I think we settled on 35. Great deal. Commercial sign. Sold today full price, $399.99. Going to Anchorage, Alaska. Shipping is $150. Crazy. I might be able to do a little better, but I've got to pack that thing like no tomorrow because I wanted to make it to Anchorage on an ice road trucker truck. I watch too much TV, right? Anyway, I just want to share with you that. That's a pretty good score. Okay, let's go talk to Wheeler. Okay, so I'm in Wheeler's office. Hey, Wheeler.
Hey, what time is it? That's not correct, but anyway.
Well, this is the
Radio Shack talking watch.
This is the new trend out on the street. It's a talking wristwatch. Tells you the time in a pleasant synthesized voice.
Yeah, there's a date on here too. I think it's like probably early 90s, late 80s.
So I'm going to imitate a pleasant synthesized voice. Was that pleasant?
I don't know what that's supposed to do. Oh, I see. So it tells you the hour.
It's pretty breathy. If pleasant is kind of synthesized and breathy.
1 a.m.
Yeah, I don't know how pleasant that is. It doesn't seem very pleasant. Now, when did this thing come out?
That's what I said. I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't have a date on the box. I'd guess late 80s, but you'd have to do some more research on your own. Actually, you know where I can figure that out.
We think that the battery's been in there since the 80s, so it may not be synthesizing on correct speed.
1994.
1994.
A little bit newer than I thought.
Whoa, so it's only 22 years old, the battery.
Yeah.
So that's new in box. Certainly a collector's item, but certainly very early voice synthesis.
I should pair that on my shelf with a Polaroid talking camera. I have one of those too.
They could talk to each other.
Yeah, they're talking instant cameras.
Okay, so here's a stack of new in box watches that I commented that they were a little smelly, and so they've been in storage for a while.
Apparently they're all actually different types of watches, are all different designs, but original recommended retail price is either $250 or $350, depending on which one.
So how do we know these are the real thing?
Well, they're the real thing, but Geneva is basically been bought out by somebody and is a super cheapy company now. They used to be high-end Swiss watches, so obviously there's a lot. We ran into lots of these Geneva Elites and cheapy ones over there, so they're not that great, but they're worth $35 to $40 a box, pretty easy.
And you paid like what?
$3 each.
Okay.
Yep.
And
brand new.
For whatever reason, yesterday you separated all the watches into these piles.
Yep.
And just from the piles here, it looks to me like we got quite a few.
Yep.
Okay.
A couple more cool ones in here. I'm just showing ones.
So here's my concerns about watches. We're already overburdened with Wheeler doing cameras. We can find more good camera stuff than we could ever process. And so to put watches in there, you know, dilutes his ability to do that. And that's fine. I think the watch market is as good, strong, profitable as the camera market. It's just that it takes a learning curve. It's going to take some time to establish. So I've been asking, you know, my wife Lon has no interest in listing watches. My daughter Kate, who's 15, has maybe
5%
minor interest, you know, for her own reasons.
She wants easy money and
easy money.
Super.
She hasn't turned the corner yet on understanding that someday she's going to have to either work for a living or be a super mom, or maybe you know, a nun. Banana Peeler's 12. He could become the watch person if he was passionate. He's not ready at 12 to take it over. I don't want to be the watch person. I'm manning the whole ship. I'm the captain of the ship at this point. I've got my own things to list. I'm not that interested in the technical. I could do it. I'm just not that interested. So anyway, those are my concerns. We have been thinking about getting another ID, probably convert it over from one we already have. We have six eBay channels. They're not all active, but we're thinking of somebody brought it up on the comments. Somebody brought it up, that watch guy or whatever, right? There's 100 ways we could go with the naming of it.
Definitely.
But having a niche eBay channel that has 100, 200, 500, 1,000 watches on it, watch-related merchandise, really is a real good way to go if you can support it.
People like that, definitely. Like, I was watching one of these channels, I watched one of the watch channels, he's telling you how to buy watches on eBay. First of all, man, he's super picky about feedback. Like, if it's not 99.5%, he calls that kind of like okay or whatever, but he buys only from watch places that actually are specifically watches.
We've built up over the last 5 years that Canon guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's been 90% of the technical for sure is Wheeler, and you know, it's more like 50-50 on the guidance of where we're going with that whole business. I don't discount in any way. In fact, Wheeler's done a great job with that. That market, we are an expert in it for various reasons, and it's a great market. We could do the same with watches. I don't know if we can do the same with both.
Yeah, I'm pretty convinced I can once I'm out of school for sure, and I get a little bit more concentrated. Pretty sure I can do it, but we'll see.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go down that whole path right now, and that's really not what this is about.
I'm trying to snap back into the listing because I've been kind of lax and whatever over the last little while.
Well, that's not what this discussion is about. I'm just voicing some things. I mean, we've obviously, the last 2 weeks especially, we've bought how many watches?
200?
Yeah, more than that.
300?
Hundreds. Let's just say hundreds.
Yep.
And so, although we didn't spend more than, I don't know, $1,000.
Less than that. Easy.
No, if there's 300 watches, $1,000 only $3 each.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Maybe.
We spent some money. We spent some time getting them. Here they are.
Got about 130.
We're in it.
Mm-hmm. We're in it.
But again, we have to be as a business manager. I have to be focused on that. So this is a show and tell segment. So I don't want to get into that, but I wanted to throw some of those things out because this is what I think about.
Yep.
There's 100 directions we can go. I mean, one time I wanted to get into Jeep or Toyota Land Cruisers or whatever, and I wanted to buy 100 of them and take them apart and sell the parts, or I wanted to go to junkyards and buy parts. I mean, there's a lot of directions we could go. So this is a good one, but we have to do it right. Show me some cool watches.
I will show you some cool ones. I was trying to think of like what's the most I spent at one single watch, and I think that was $5. I don't think I spent more than that on any of them. So, yeah, that might be accurate or whatever.
Well, I'm not sure we can find watches everywhere, but they seem to be prevalent in these two places we went.
Yep, this is one I actually was going to buy for myself for $5. It's a Fossil 100-meter diver thing, apparently. Fossil Blue. I knew Fossil was a reasonably good brand, but this one turned out to be pretty good, so that's a good one. $5 for that. There's some really oddball different things. Like that Pilgrim with a really funky cuff chain from probably the 50s. Just
now, tell me briefly, like the 4 or 5 different categories of watches that you were talking about the other day.
A lot of different categories. I'd say there's like sport, there's military, diver, aviator, which would be like chronograph, and there's like racing watches would be chronographs, and there's a lot of different types, really. Now,
this guy is 17 years old. I like my son a lot. Wheeler is he digs in. You know, if you here's the point. If you're a single person shop and you are doing general stuff and you want to get into cameras, you want to get into watches, you want to get into car parts, you want to get into dolls, you want to get into this, that, or the other thing, if you want to do a niche, you have to be the type of person that gets passionate about stuff and digs in. And I don't know why I don't want to, but I'm not going to. I'm not into that. Other than maybe beer memorabilia, I really find that fascinating, the advertising. Been there, done that. I mean, I've done that, several times throughout my life. I've dug in. Wheeler is passionate about cameras and watches. If you are not and you want to expand your business, find somebody who's passionate about something and build a business with them. That's what I'm doing. I'm hoping some of my other kids are passionate. We have some other things we can do in our business, like packing orders, finding stuff, cleaning stuff up. There's some bookkeeping. There's some other tasks, but this is what's needed.
Okay, so I'm just gonna try not to go through like 50 watches here, but I'm gonna show a couple interesting ones.
Show a couple interesting
categories.
ones. And I hope you don't mind that I go back and forth with this kind of thought pattern, but really I'm not wanting to be a one-person show. I want to grow this business with my family and give them opportunity to have a perpetual business. It's a little bit bigger than just buying and selling.
So this is really interesting.
What do you got, Wheeler?
Bought these from a really old gentleman. He's been there for a long time in his little antique store, and these have probably been there for 30 years, I'd have to guess. These are Louis Fifth Avenue, New York watches, both men and women's. Well, men's and women's.
Pretty cool.
Not super high-end, but they are very old, probably from the 40s, maybe as early as the 30s. So original price tag on that one, $60. So not super high-end, but since they're in the original boxes, I think that's kind of neat. Just don't see that kind of stuff that often.
Do they work?
Yep.
They're new old stock.
I wouldn't say new old stock, but they're maybe very tarnished new old stock.
Yeah, we didn't pay much. It's kind of neat. So who would buy those in your estimation? Collectors? Somebody would want to wear them?
Definitely a combination of both. Collectors like to wear their watches. So okay. I'll say like 80% of collectors that I've seen like to wear their watches, unless they're really new old stock, like high-end watches that obviously are museum pieces or something like that.
Okay, two other questions. You can show this watch first and answer them. What is your fascination with watches? And talk about a little bit about the metal value, gold and silver too, from your standpoint. Now, before we do that, listen, there are some of you out there who know more about watches maybe than Wheeler and I. And I will admit right here, we are new to watches. However, Wheeler digs in. So whatever mistakes he's making, he's not afraid to move ahead, and I'm not afraid to roll with him.
Okay, well, gold watches, there's a lot of different stuff on them. This is an interesting one. I actually don't remember if this was from last trip or this trip, but either way, I don't think we showed it off.
How does it show on there?
That looks pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. That's basically, I think this one might actually be new old stock. It's an Elgin DuraPower women's watch.
Elgin.
Elgin, yep. And anyway, that one is 10 karat gold filled, which basically means there's like a 20 micron, which I don't know the exact, it's something like that. It's a sandwich of gold with different metals in between, is what gold filled is. Gold plated is different, where you electroplated onto it. And then there's solid gold watches, which obviously are solid gold, and those are worth quite a bit of money in a lot of cases.
Did we find any solid gold ones? No.
Not that I know of.
No. So people recognize those.
Yeah.
Now, we're not a metal expert shop. No, we're not jewelerists. Jewelists?
Yeah, jewelists. I don't know.
We're not jewelers. Jewelers. We're not jewelers, not experts, but watches have several components. There's collectors.
Yep.
There's people who like to wear them. There's people who like certain brands. There's people who want the gold and silver.
Yep.
There's people who want weird technology like talking robot watches.
Yep.
There's people who want to wear them. There's people who want to replace the watch that they had, their grandpa had, their dad had. I mean, there's an interesting market.
So one thing I was looking up earlier today, which doesn't exactly relate, but there's these Rolex solid gold watches. They make the non-gold ones for $5,000, and then or $5 to $10,000, let's say. They make the solid gold ones for $25,000, pretty much across the board. And the melt value on those is approximately $10,000 on one of those $25,000 solid gold watches. So that's pretty significant, obviously.
Now
those are large watches. Those are.
I'm not trying to cut you off. Yep. Oh boy, not trying to cut them off. This is a dance we're having here. But anyway, let me ask you this. This is just something that popped into my mind. a watch company. Am I cutting you off?
There, man.
Wheeler, where are you?
Oh.
Sorry, I don't have my...
Yeah. There you go.
Better. Sorry. So sorry if I've cut you off. Yeah, stoop down, Snoop Dogg.
This isn't the normal filming location, so you're not quite...
Hey, I took some naps today. Oh, no, I'm digressing. But when you work from midnight to 8 a.m. and then try to, like, nap on and off during the day and get some stuff done, what terrible jet lag. I'm just all messed up right now, and I'll be fine in a couple days. Anyway, if a watch company is successful, has a successful watch style, or they think it's successful, people will buy that watch.
Yep.
They will also take that watch and they will market it to the specialty crowd, the money crowd, whatever, collectors, and they will make a high-end version of that.
Yeah.
So they can have the same watch in 2, 3, 4 different grades.
Yeah, like they have the Rolex Day Date, and then they have the Rolex Presidential or something, which is like a day with gold and diamonds on it.
Right.
For 10 times the price, pretty much.
That's just a whole nother dynamic. Not every watch has that. Not every brand has that. I mean, there's... How many different watches are there?
Definitely more previous to now, but there's still a lot today because of all the quartz and everything. It's really hard to estimate because there's so many cheap brands of watches and fake watches, and there's too many.
Okay, I got a battery going out. I'll be right back. Okay, new battery. Kind of recocked here for a couple minutes. I just want to mention another thing, and everybody says, oh, dealer, you talk too much. You talk over your son, blah, blah, blah. I'm adding value. We'll be back to Wheeler in a minute. So, when you enter a new market, when do you become an expert? Well, you become an expert when you will back up whatever you claim. So whatever we list, whatever is on our listing, if it says it's a certain quality, if it says it's running, if it says it's clear dial, if it says the whole thing is, scratched, whatever. We are now an expert when we will back that up with a guarantee of return of money if it's not as we say it. So we are planning to go ahead, just as you should, and you should become an expert in a niche or two. That's just a recommendation. So we are not experts in the watch category. However, we are moving ahead rapidly, and we, through perseverance, will become experts, and we're not afraid to do that. Because, let me ask you this question, Wheeler. We paid an average of, let's say, $2 a watch.
Yep.
That could be high, that could be low. Oh my goodness, I think I just put it in a manual focus. Anyway,
Man.
Could be low, could be high, whatever. $2 a watch. All told, throw out some watches. Some are scores, da-da-da-da-da. These are what, would we call them bread and butter or better?
I'd say they're learning experience and with some scores.
Okay, so $2 a watch. What's an average we can sell all of them across the board at?
Really hard to say. $15, $30. It's really hard to say.
Okay, so 15 to 30, I can live with that. I think it's 20 to 30 bucks. $2 to 20 to 30 to learn this business is probably worth it.
Yeah, and the way I went about this, like I said, I paid no more than $5 for any watch here, and that's exactly the way you should learn anything new. That's really the best way to do it if that's really possible.
Now I am concerned about.
I
am concerned. It seems like these lenses are being filtered through our listing.
Yeah.
Because I know we know what those are.
Yep.
We sold a lens from that lot, by the way, yesterday or the day before. Shipped it out today. That Canon was from this lot, wasn't it?
Which one? Yeah, the 17 to 85.
That one I sold for $3 something.
Oh yeah. That one. Yep.
So that was one of the 10.
I pointed that out when I first got it. I've been looking for one of those for a long time. I didn't realize it was worth that much. I thought it was going to be $50 to $100.
I mean, it hasn't stuck, but who knows? I mean, the guy bought it full price, 300 some bucks. So Anyway, that that which is what you listed today over there is awesome.
Yep.
And proven.
Exactly.
And it still has enough pitfalls.
And this pile back here is about $3,000, but that's.
Well, we've already talked about the pricing
really
of what we picked up there. Okay, I'm gonna back off my whatever. Do you have a few more to show us?
Yes, absolutely. I have quite a few more.
Well,
I'm gonna show a couple. I have a couple of stories. Is what I'm gonna tell.
Good.
That's how it is. I'm gonna do it.
Do it.
But anyway, there are a couple different types of watches. I'm just gonna name two big ones. Are older mechanical watches and newer quartz/digital watches.
When did the change happen?
1980s, and
okay.
The very infancy of it was right in the early 70s to late 70s, but 80s when it became widespread, went out of craziness and all the other stuff.
Now, when were you born?
1999.
Guess you missed it.
Yeah, missed it.
Sorry.
Quartz Revolution, or I forget what the watch.
Okay, let me rephrase this. So, how many watches do you currently own for your person? Give me an estimate.
25.
Yeah, you like.
I don't know, something like
okay,
that. I just got this one. This one's pretty cool.
What is that?
It's a Seiko Recraft. I don't know the exact SNK something or other.
That's pretty sharp.
A little bit too big for me, but it's pretty cool.
Did you run with it today?
Yep, I ran with it today. Yeah.
Could you time yourself?
Not on this one.
All right, back to it.
Back to it. Okay, quartz watches, lots and lots of cheap watches is what came out of that for the most part. Mechanical watches took some skill to make. They had a big barrier to entry is pretty much what it is. Kept most of the cheap manufacturers out. Not that there weren't budget like brands, but there just weren't any cheap
So
brands.
When did they really start mechanical wristwatches?
Well, for men, it was about the 1920s.
Okay, so they had a 60-year run. Big Boy Club, Swiss Made was the dominator.
Yep.
A few other players were in there.
Some other stuff there earlier.
Okay.
Yep. Nowadays, Swiss is basically it for mechanical as far as like really good watches go, and there's Seiko and there's some good ones from Japan. But anyway, Quartz Revolution, you find a lot of cheap watches out there. Like we got this one here, the Trump Casino watch, and it's just
Trump.
Yeah, Donald Trump Casino.
Whoa.
Like super protection. It's just there's there's tons of cheap watches.
Okay, so when you look at the quartz ones, there's some novelty ones that sell for money. There's some high-end ones that sell for money, and there must be some gold ones.
Yeah, and one thing with the quartz, Rolex, and all the other big brands who wanted to survive, I won't say all of them because there were a couple who like kept out of it, but for the most part they switched over even to quartz in the 80s, which was that's pretty crazy when you think about it.
Are there still mechanical watches made today?
Absolutely. I'm wearing one right here.
Whoa.
This is one right here.
Whoa.
But anyway, quartz, there are some good ones out there, even though not all of them are good. I have a couple here I guess I'll show you. But early digital watches, those can be pretty good. This is a Timex SSQ. It's missing the crown, unfortunately, but that's
what is a crown?
It's the part that sets the time. This one might actually be a button, but either way, it's missing something on there. But that's an early one. That one's pretty cool. You have one more, if I can find it, within a reasonable amount of time. I'll look for that one. I'm looking at some other ones here later. Then we have a Guess right here. That one's probably worth a little bit too. Women's Guess from the 80s.
Now, what's the deal with Guess? I heard they own a lot of brands.
You probably know more about it than I do.
Can you guess the number of brands they own?
I don't know. No clue.
Okay.
Some other good ones. We have some Fossils. We have this one, and then we have the one I picked up for $5, which I was showing off before.
So if we picked up 300 watches, how many have a gold value?
15 of them.
That's it.
15 to maybe 30. I don't know for sure. But.
Are we're gonna still evaluate those and sell them, some for collector value and some just for gold?
Yeah, because I'm sure a lot of people in the comments know the exacts of the gold filled thing. The gold filled is not anything close to solid gold. I don't know anything more detailed than that, but I'll just tell you that.
Well, okay, so you got an average weight gold, what do they call it?
Well, solid gold or gold filled?
Gold filled.
Gold filled.
Average weight gold filled watch, what's the bottom on that, give or take?
I don't know, but let's say women's watches, I think it's $30 melt value or something similar.
Yeah.
I could be totally off, though. That's why I'm trying not to go into exacts on that.
Sure.
The thing is, a solid gold women's watch can go at a base of like $300 to $500, as far as I can tell. From what I know. So gold filled is a lot less than that.
Yeah, there's not a lot of solid gold watches.
It's much better than gold plated, but it's not nowhere near solid gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
show me one or two more here, and then I got some more questions.
Okay.
If you want to.
Yeah, well, I have some really neat advertising watches here. A few of them, actually.
Okay, so advertising is another direction you can go.
I said I didn't pay any more than $5 for this. This was bundled in, but technically, I guess I probably did. This is a Decalb. I forget the brand of that. Bulova?
DeKalb. It's
DeKalb.
a farming watch.
Farming watch. It has an embossed corn cob on there that's flying. It's really funny.
Right.
That one is gold plated or something like that.
Where's that? Yeah, there was one that you got that was in a case.
Yeah, I know, the Hamilton. It's over here.
Okay.
This one here is a really cool Baskin Robbins, probably from the 60s or 70s. Really neat manual wind on the original cuff strap. If you can't see, can you see that?
Can't see it, but all the numbers around the edge are not
really
numbers.
cool.
They're all 32 flavors, right?
Yep, we make people happy. Baskin Robbins, 31, 31, 31. It's Gruen.
31 flavors.
Gruen brand. Really cool.
Yeah, I grew up when I was
cool.
with my family as a young person. We used to go in the 70s to Baskin Robbins. That was a big deal. Oh, wait, I gotta tell this. When I had a buddy, I must have been 5, 6, or 7. I had a buddy who had a birthday party at a Baskin Robbins, and he bought the Baskin Robbins for like 2 hours. And so we all went in there, and I was not afraid to voice my opinion. I went for the Matterhorn. The Matterhorn, I think, is 21 scoops. Oh, I was so high off that and so sick for a couple days. I ate 90% of that damn thing. And you could make it yourself. You made your own Matterhorn. Wow.
Unbelievable.
Okay, Baskin Robbins.
Baskin Robbins, super cool watch, advertising watch. Don't know a lot about it. I got it at Watch Lot, so that one probably cost me $2 or something, which is that's a score for that.
Whoa.
Yep. This is one of the coolest watches we picked up there, which I think this one's gold plated. It's a Hamilton. If anybody knows that name, this one's from 1995.
So what's a high-end Hamilton go for?
High-end Hamiltons right now range in the $1,500 to $3,000 range. You can get an entry-level one right around $400.
This is an advertising award Hamilton watch.
And it's from the 90s. They had a whole bunch of different people who were buying them out left and right. So this was kind of it's a lower-end Hamilton as far as you...
It looks new.
It is pretty much, I think it's brand new. It has the original plastic on the back. Nokia Sugar Bowl, so like football, I think.
Well, Sugar Bowl is a football deal, yeah. And Nokia, this was when they were
mobile phones.
A couple years into the mobile phone market. They've been around forever, but that's when they got into the
sign buckle, sign crown. It is a Hamilton.
How much did you pay?
Paid $7 for this one, so more than $5 again. Man,
and we think it's $100 plus.
$100 plus, easy. But anyway, that one, super score. That one's crazy. I went to the strip trying to buy a Hamilton. That's one of those brands I like, and I'm going to be buying one eventually. I went to the strip trying to buy a vintage Hamilton. That one's not quite it, but that's close enough for me.
Great. Last one.
So anyway, yeah, I gotta think of what my last one would be. Another Fossil here. That one's a really funky, like a see-through back.
Yeah, there's so many different designs.
Yep, that's a mechanical one, though modern China movement is what they put in.
You got the watch bug, don't you?
Yeah, I'm trying to find this other digital one. It's really cool, and it's just something not a lot of people know is worth anything, so I shouldn't reveal that.
Who cares?
Okay.
We're not,
Cool Boulevard.
You're either into it or not. You're either going to pick up the watches or you're not.
With like a really fancy finish on there. That's expensive manual line.
What percentage of people wear a watch?
I have no idea, actually. I'd say 70% or 80%, but I don't know the exact
of adults.
figures.
Okay, let's say it's 50%, and then out of those 50%, probably 1 or 2% is like mega watch collectors.
Yeah.
So.
I do not know idea if it's digital one. I might have it over there on my table somewhere.
So let's just sit on down here a minute,
yep,
and then we got to go. We got to look. Here's what we're gonna do.
Yep.
We're gonna get in the watch market. Currently, we're listing them on that Canon, guys. So we have to make a decision here pretty soon what we're gonna do.
Yep.
We will update everyone on how the watches are going. My preliminary feeling with the 10 watches that you've listed over the last month or two is that it's a good market.
Yep. These are really cool. Like, I could just talk for days about all these because there's so many different types. But I can't do that. Okay, let's try it. Find this other one.
We don't need any more. We're done looking at them.
Tuning fork watch.
No, we're done looking. Sit down.
Okay.
So, if the strategy was yours, and I'm all ears because we haven't really sat down to talk about what the strategy is here, and this is besides cameras because obviously we have a vested interest in cameras. How would you go? And okay, this is like maybe did we pick up more the last weekend, 2 weekends ago, or did we pick up more this time?
Pick up more this time, but more junk this time too.
Okay, so how do you go about listing these? Because here you got $2 a watch and there's money to be made here. How do you process this?
The way to go about it is going to be
how about a way to go about it?
A way to go about it, there's many ways I could go about this. I could refurbish them and put straps on them, which I'm going to have to look into that and figure out how that would work, if that's feasible, because I have seen people on eBay who do that, who get premium money, obviously. But anyway, there's a lot of ways to go about it. I think the way I'm going to go about for right now, minor cleaning, minor testing, listed as it is. That's the most efficient way I can see.
And I like that because after going back and forth and all around with cameras, from the idea of restoring them, fixing them, finding somebody to fix them, cleaning them, lotting them up. I mean, we've went every direction with cameras. Really, what we found is we just need to become a pass through.
I'll say watches are a bit different than cameras because people are more critical of condition for sure compared to a camera, which just needs to work. So there's a couple differences there, but yeah, for the most part.
With lenses and cameras, we sell them with and without the lens caps, and we found that if we chase lens caps, first of all, we have to have a huge inventory of lens caps, and second, it just doesn't make that much of a difference.
Yep.
And I'm feeling a similar feeling with with watch straps and all that.
Yeah, which watch straps are a little bit different too, but anyway, and one thing I've been doing with lenses recently, I've been taking apart and cleaning them a little bit, which takes me an extra 2 minutes or something per one since I have the right tools. And that actually is adding pretty good value to some of them. Like that Canon we just sold, that would have went for a little bit less because I hadn't cleaned it.
Sure.
Like a lot less, actually. It would have been a lot less desirable.
Well, hey, and you know, when you were 12, you weren't able to make as good a decisions as you are with the experience you have today.
Yep.
And I count on you to kind of, make that decision if that's worth it or not. And I think, when you can add value, that's great.
Yeah, I have to try to do that a little bit less because that was part of my slow listing. Most of it was just mental, though, the last week.
Well, listing is a grind.
Yep, it is.
No matter what, it's work.
Yep.
And it's most of your job. So.
Yep.
Okay, so I hope you find this valuable. Obviously, if you have questions about watches, we're not experts, but as far as strategy, whatever your question is, you can put it in there. We don't discriminate one question to another, but Wheeler is gung-ho with watches. He has a vested interest because he likes watches. Same with cameras. He uses cameras. There's only one Wheeler. We're trying to get him to finish school.
Yep.
He likes this stuff, Everybody thinks, oh my goodness, you got like a racehorse there, slave labor lister or something. He likes this stuff.
Especially, yeah, definitely.
So
I enjoy what I do.
When he turns 18, he's going to become full partner in the business, I have a feeling. Whatever that means.
I think it'll be very interesting for people to see how this business evolves and how a startup niche, whatever you want to call it, starts from scratch with us. I think that'll be an interesting...
It will.
Trying to start something brand new, never been in it before.
Yeah, and this is about how we go about it. We buy everything out there and go crazy.
That's exactly what we did with cameras, and
oh my goodness.
There were a lot more trials and tribulations because I was younger and it was pretty crazy. We've actually come out on top on that, obviously.
Well, we survived that, and part of it was because of my test strip business, and part of it was because of the cash flow from some other things that we were doing, that we were able to weather the storm, and I think that's the way any new business can be born, is through trial and error, and then you just have to weather it. I'm seasoned enough to try to guide this thing a little bit.
Yep.
where grumpy dealer is going to come in and say we got to be working on camera stuff, but I'm also happy that Wheeler's interested in this stuff. So
Yep.
let's go talk about some other stuff.
I have one more thing I want to show you here.
Okay.
I actually picked up a couple personal watches on that trip, and I wanted to show those off.
Sure.
Quickly, I have a fake Rolex, first of all, which you can't sell those, but this one's a pretty good fake. It's kind of funny.
Well, we talked to Sissa. She was
Yep.
wearing one of them the other day.
Yep, showed that off. And then this is the roughest G-Shock ever, calling it that. It's pretty much the whole bezel's gone. It's like all chewed up. It somehow works until I tried using it, and then it stopped working. The buttons
So what's the
stopped working.
claim to fame for G-Shocks? They can take it and keep going.
Yep, found this in like some random watch bin that we paid like $10 for 100 watches or something.
Somebody
it's pretty
crushed
funny.
their arm with that G-Shock.
That thing's been, and I put a strap on it too, so it looks nicer. with
Stuck
that
their
on.
hand in a fire or something.
And I got this kind of cool Main Great Britain Railmaster pocket watch. It's not an authentic pocket watch. It's from the 60s or something. It's a remake. It's really, really cool though. I don't know why it doesn't go for that much. It's
It'd be
really
nice
cool.
if my camera could.
Yeah, you must be a manual focus. You said you.
No, it's always like this.
Ah, okay.
It can't.
Well, it was focusing time before.
No, it can't adjust.
And then I bought this at Pawn Shop for $60. It's an Orient Mako dive watch.
Yeah, dive watches are cool.
Pretty cool. I've been looking for one of those for a little while. Found a good deal on it.
All right, closing thoughts, if any.
Nope.
Okay, so really what I've gravitated towards is buying the odd and unusual and just sort of exploring new markets as well. I don't seem to enter into any market that's as big as cameras or watches, although I'm leaning towards brewery advertising, beer advertising, and everything that goes with that. I enjoy that kind of thing. There's high-end stuff there. I'm focusing more on high-end stuff and just stuff that's interesting to me. So I'm going to go and just kind of go down the line and try to rapid fire this. I don't want this to be a bazillion hour video.
This is gonna be the longest picking haul ever, too.
It could be because
Sequel.
there's more stuff than I thought there was here.
There's a lot here.
We picked up a lot and we packed it kind of dense, and as I was unpacking it, I'm like, man, there's a lot of stuff here.
There's 24-hour storytelling on how you acquired every single item here.
Oh my goodness, even camera stuff. I mean,
Exactly.
we didn't show much of it, but
No.
we picked up pretty good camera
Wow,
stuff.
there's more than I thought.
Yeah, look at that over while I talk about this stuff. Okay, by now, if you've watched my other videos, you've seen the Miller High Life beer sign. I paid too much for that, but it's kind of like if the American pickers, when they see something unique, blah blah blah, pick it up. I did that. Okay, I'll keep it or make money on it. I paid $800 for that. It's porcelain. It pops. It has minor issues. It's an oddball, being that it's curved. It's Miller. There are none listed and very few out there. Enough said.
Something that might go up in value in the future.
No, I'm going to list it for at least $11.99, if not $12.99, if not $14.99, and wait.
Yep.
And I don't even care if I wait a year to make a couple $100 or $500. I'll enjoy it.
I like it. Super poppy.
Try to find another one of these. If you have one of these, let me know, because maybe I'm wrong. Danger Crooked Bridge. Think about it. It doesn't even make sense. It's raised letters,
Boss, yep.
embossed letters. If I saw this on a road,
I wouldn't know what to think.
I would turn around or go
Probably.
slow. If I was in my
Yeah.
Jeep, maybe. But where the heck do you go where Danger Crooked Bridge is a norm?
It's like,
So I paid up $90,
Bridge.
$95 for that. I'll double my money or I won't sell it. Couple decent helmets. That's kind of a cool looking one. And this is
a very large baseball cap.
this is one of the ones that I'll pick up no matter what. This was only like $6. It's not in the greatest shape, but it's a Arthur Firmer AF40, and people will repurpose those. I've done very well on some of those Arthur Firmer ones. The ones that have the craziest patterns sell the best. I'm still got my political thing going there. Coleman Diamond coolers in general, both drink and stuff, are good.
Pink is very, very rare. This has the sticker on it and the box and the stuff in the box, and this one just needs a little cleanup. It's an 8 out of 10. These are a super score.
Yep. That one might be new old stock.
It might be new old stock. I paid $100.
Tiny chip. It's basically brand new.
$100 give or take for the pair. They could go as high as $200 each.
Patio pink is the color, I guess.
Crazy, crazy. I got these. I think I paid $15 each. These are some sort of dealer slicks from the '90s. You got Suburban and Malibu, kind of a generic one, and Monte Carlo, and Nova. So those are pretty neat. Those should go pretty well. Those should go pretty well. Whoa!
Crush the fish, man.
Don't crush the fish.
What's the frame made out on that?
Yeah, you know, that's a period.
Wood.
No, it's kind of a process.
Yeah.
I hope this is the real deal. This is raised, painted, textured, really cool. It seems old, and by old, it's got to be 80 years old or more. Here's what this guy said, and I have
provenance supposedly.
No, I have done zero research. I'll just read this. $175 Day's Catch by Raphael Tuck. Offices in London, Paris, New York. Warranted by the Majesties, the King and Queen Alexandria, Series blank blank number 8, designed in New York, printed at the Fine Artwork, Saxony, Germany. This is a wildlife chromolithographic die cut by Raphael Tuck and Sons, London. They say circa 1860s to 1885. This is very similar, I think, to the same technology that Blatz picture is.
Yeah. Similar, very similar, yeah.
Earlier,
yeah,
maybe.
Lithograph.
So anyway, I have to do some research on this thing. It's super cool. These fish look super authentic. They're raised. It's a nice job. I don't know about this frame. I don't know.
Enough wear on the piece where it seems authentic.
I took a chance. There's no chance in it. I like it for myself at the price I paid, which is up. Checking your watch.
No, I'm checking my finger.
Oh, checking your finger.
Yeah.
Capacity 20 tons. I paid $10 for this 1950s bridge plaque. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
Super heavy. I don't think there's many bridges that you take the plaque off. Here is a Champion cooler from the 30s, 40s. It is glass, ceramic lined. I didn't pay much for it, $10. It's pretty cool. This is really neat. The thing to open it, it's a screw valve and it's Bakelite, I believe.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
Looks like it.
Really super cool.
Yep.
It's in pretty good shape. Schlitz malt liquor. That is now Banana Peeler's garbage can.
His garbage cans with beer on them.
Playmobil people. This is a Betamax. It looks like it's in good shape, but untested. It will unfortunately go up there with the other one till we get a beta tape. This is blah blah.
Old Germany.
Old Germany. Well, the lady called it salt.
Mm-hmm.
Ceramic? No. What does she call it?
You told me.
It's old.
Saltware or something.
It's old. I had some other stuff like this that's only been made like, I don't know, 80 to 100 years ago. Yeah. I just liked it. It's so heavy.
I think it's more touristy than
it is,
but it is interesting. It's definitely old.
It's still old.
It's got
touristy.
A lot of age to it.
Couple little electronic things. Mattel Electronics Football 2, an original game of a Game Boy Advance for 25 cents at Works.
Don't look this up yet. Gold's Pumpulator. That was the one. That one.
Yeah, it says Gould's or Gold's Pumpulator. What a weird Texas instrument.
It really is weird. It's like an advertising.
Hands, Dukes of Hazzard. Some of these things are what we throw in when we don't get the deal we want. There's a Game Boy thing. This is pretty cool. You probably can't see STOP in there.
Upside down, but yeah.
Well, whatever.
I'm just saying if you're outlining.
It's supposed to be off a fire truck. It's an old stoplight.
Cool looking.
Looked them up. That should go for $100. A couple hats. Blatz guy we got from somebody who I guess has seen our show.
Yeah.
$20. Those guys are super cool. These Blatz guys. That is not as good as I thought. That is not a dealer promo car. That is a dealer promo.
That's crazy.
Corvair.
That's crazy. That's super old.
It's a little beat.
Yep. Rear engine? Is that what that is?
Yeah, rear engine.
Wow. Didn't know that.
The rear deck is gone there.
Mid-engine or rear engine? What's the difference?
That is, I thought it was a promo car, but it's too big. I just got suckered in. So bad deal. This Volkswagen is tin from Japan. So is this one. This one is a doubler at 50. That one might be as much as 150 or more because it's all there. Really cool. Very detailed. Everything opens. Volkswagen. Sign of quality, made in Japan. It is really neat. Sunroof.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's you know, the interior is all in there.
All in there. That's
cool. The trim is all there. These are really neat.
Yep.
Lightning ball, that came from the same guy. There it says 50, but I got it for 30. I'll probably sell it for 60. This is a version of a dealer promo car with a friction motor. Those go pretty well as well. Champion car mat.
Everything thrown in to make the deal.
That will go really well. That was thrown in as part of this deal to make it go because we were throwing numbers back and forth with everything we bought there. And so he had $30 on that. I threw that in at the end. I know I've sold one before. That will sell for at least 50 from my recollection. New old stock hams from another video. Nice shaped hams tapper and other hams. Some cool belt buckles. All these belt buckles were got for $5 or less. Pretty cheap, even though they say 10. That doesn't matter. We always get them for less. We bargain on it. Here's my mistake. Got suckered
Dealer
in.
messes up.
Well, it says Caterpillar. Tractor. I'm going to break even on that, but I paid up for that.
The funny thing is, after we saw that one, that was the first one the dealer thinks he's ever seen. It's the first one I've ever seen. I haven't been looking really, I guess. But after seeing that one, we saw no less than 100 more of them at various vendors all throughout our travels.
Well,
it's pretty unbelievable.
Everybody likes to prove dealer wrong.
Oh, I thought that was pretty crazy. How many we saw.
I think 100 is an exaggeration.
More than that. I saw
more than that.
15 different places I saw those.
Okay.
In bulk.
I'm going to prove everybody wrong. I'm going to make a profit on that.
Yep. Well, you can. That's
one
fine.
way or another.
I'm not saying that.
I'm going to bundle it with a hams tapper.
I saw a lot of those. I was
okay.
Not the exact one, but
all right.
I was really surprised.
Yes.
Cool.
Bush. This is a pretty nice pool light. It's going to be a pain to ship. It's in good shape. Pool lights range when you sell them from $75 at auction plus shipping all the way up. I've seen some of them go for $300, $400, $500. This is a high, mid to high 200s, maybe $300. Shipping will be a pain. Miller with the lady on the moon, paid $50. That is an easy 100 plus shipping, or $119 or $129 if you want to wait till there's a low spot. I have a crazy old sign about killing eagles. There's a guy that's got a nice one listed for $300. I paid $20 for this. I'm hoping to maybe get $50 plus shipping. I'll keep going, and then you can talk about your camera stuff, okay?
Yep.
Doctor's bag, nice leather, probably from the 40s, 50s. Halloween's coming up. Costumes, whatever. I paid $20. That'll be an easy double flip or more.
Didn't I pick up that Schlitz bottle?
Schlitz bottle, whoops.
Oh, I see. That's stuff you brought back. Okay, I was going to say you picked up a Schlitz bottle.
That's just a flashlight. Schlitz flashlight. Okay, so I bought some crates this time. This one is a Sterling, which I have a cool sign.
It is. I thought it was.
In the other room.
I was wondering where I heard that.
Yeah, Ohio. Let's take a look.
That's cool.
Yeah, Sterling stuff, you know, is around.
Demand Sterling.
Demanded.
Demand Sterling.
I demanded to get this crate.
That'd be funny. You actually go into some restaurant and bar and just demand it.
Demand it, yeah. You get kicked out if you demand it too hard.
Decide, like, I demand
so, You know, I think that's pretty scarce, so we'll see where that goes. I do pretty well with crates. I typically double my money because I wait. This is a nice Blatz one. That came from the same place as the fish, and I probably paid $70, and I'll double my money on that. Blatz regular crates are not that uncommon, but this one is.
Better graphics on their side.
Yeah, Valentine, Blatz Brewing, Milwaukee. It has been partially restored and varnished, which slightly detracts for some people, maybe not. Valentine was his first name, Blatz. On the inside, I believe it says 1912 or 1917, but that still is not what makes it rare. So it's over 100 years old. What makes it rare is it is one of these, not 24 bottle, but 36 small.
3 dozen small.
3 dozen small. I've had another 3 dozen small case, and it went for $250 to $300 in Pabst. This I got for $100. That'll be a $300 case.
Yep.
Funny though, we did see another one, didn't we?
Yep, we did.
Do you know where we saw?
2 dozen large.
Was it 2 dozen?
2 dozen.
But it was Valentine. It was at the same place we got this. So it still wasn't the 3 dozen.
Nope.
Okay.
He had a 3 dozen, but it was a different brand.
Different brand. 3 dozens are scarce, mainly because the small was early on, I think, and it was pre-prohibition when those cases came out. Okay, I bought a bunch of these
Barn light, farm lights,
farm lights, old lights with the, what do you call that? Porcelain?
Yeah, enamel porcelain.
Enamel porcelain. I got to clean some of them up. Different sizes. This one here, I'm going to take the long arm off it, but it's got a really cool articulating top thing on it. I think that's going to help. These I'm going to double or more my money depending on how I want to package them. I just like them. They're out here where we're at. I'm going to continue to pick those up. There's nothing that goes wrong as long as you take good pictures, blah, blah, blah. 7-Up clock got thrown in on the deal. It works. It is missing the front piece, the clear plastic.
Acrylic.
It's still good. People will buy that for the components or whatever. Good money to be made. Coors, the only reason I picked that up is it was $3 and it had this really cool mini 8-ounce can. I just thought that was crazy.
Stores over here, I think it's 8 ounce too. What's 10?
Yeah, well I picked that up for $5 just because
one.
I like stores, and it's an old one.
Older than most.
It's rough. Someday I'm going to figure out a way to hang out. I've got a whole bunch of trays that I'm going to hang up.
I've seen how people do them. They have like a bracket that goes over right on the front of your wire and it just hangs on there.
There's a couple ways to do them.
It's a good way.
Here is potentially a dumb buy. I paid $2 for these things. 2 out of the 3 supposedly work really well. I'm gonna look it up. It's one of these things that dispenses paper towels electronically, and it tells you if your hand's there.
Motion activated.
I'll have to see if the brand is good. I mean, Georgia Pacific is good. $2 for the 3. I'm not gonna cry if I throw those away. We'll see if they go for any money. Coolers. I did not get any beer coolers. This one is a RC Cola. It's got the imprint on there.
Royal
Crown, whatever.
Yep.
And then these are just Rat Rod Retro 60s, 70s, 80s cooler. That one is pretty good. It's beat up, but it is a Coleman, an early Coleman, the green one. And so somebody will dent that thing out and make it part of their camping regime or whatever. So didn't pay a lot for any of these coolers. They're all doublers or better, and actually 2 out of the 4 of them are probably 10 times the money when it's all said and done. Okay, let me see. Oh,
big hams and Getz.
Well, I showed these the other day.
Okay.
The hams and the Getz Country Club is really awesome.
Crazy green.
Probably going to hang that. Probably going to list it up. That's going to have to sell.
Somebody's going to store it. possibly.
Yeah.
It had such a poppy color scheme when it first came out. It's just something you have to restore.
That's a scarce sign, and I can ship it. This one will die with me, and that's fine. $100. I only paid what, $150 for that?
Yeah, 125, 150, somewhere in there.
What did I pay for that?
125, I think.
No,
maybe not.
was it 150 or 250? I don't know what I paid for that.
Yeah, you have to look in the vlog.
Shh, who cares?
Yeah.
I'm gonna sell it for 4 or 5.
Yep.
Just because of the scarcity.
So I guess we'll start the camera stuff here. Are you done with all your stuff there?
I think I'm done.
Okay.
Woo!
That is the great national #1 Stereopticon. I'm not entirely sure what the Stereopticon branding was versus Magic Lantern. It was somebody's idea, but I have seen it before. It's a cool sticker on there. It's too bad it's mostly gone. That one, along with a lot of other ones we usually buy, we buy for the lens. So, haven't looked up the lens yet, but that's hopefully a good one.
Well, I can't imagine that lens is going to go for less than $200.
Yeah, that's a bit different one than most of them.
This camera, this thing, whatever it is so busy looking.
Mm-hmm. That one's fancy compared to a lot of them.
Fancy and busy.
It's also newer.
So we paid, the price tag was $289 on a regular shop.
Yep.
We got to know the guy a little bit. Interesting dude.
Yep.
We got that for $200. Mm-hmm. And then he threw in a watch.
I had made a deal for $7 on this watch. It wasn't one I knew anything about. It was Skagen Denmark. I've heard the brand. I figured it was something inexpensive.
You didn't even look at it.
No, like Sterling Original and Company or something. Like there's some brands like that make China-made movements that they look cool, but they're not worth a whole lot. So that's what I figured that was.
So you pull it out of the box, and...
Well, I started looking at it, and I was like, there's something more to this. It seems to have extra functions and stuff that a cheap watch won't have. It feels pretty high quality. So I go look it up. Forget what exactly I said, but it should be $200.
So let's just say it's $150.
Say $150. Easy.
So we get $150 for the watch he threw in.
Yep.
We get $200 or more for the lens. Mm-hmm. And probably another $40, $50 for the carcass. Mm-hmm. So right there we're at $400 easy.
It's a newer watch, so I have more of an idea what I'll go for.
The lens could go for $300-$400.
It could. And it could very potentially be like some of those small lenses we had before.
We don't know yet.
I have very little knowledge of those.
Yeah, we barely dragged our butts home. And this is barely set up.
It's cool it comes with a case. That's we've only seen that one other one out of the 30 we've picked up.
Yeah, the case is pretty
It's
ratty.
pretty roach, but it's cool. And the manual, the instruction manual, original one.
Well, it depends what somebody wants to do with it.
Yep.
So, there you go. Okay. So, we didn't show camera stuff, but, I mean, this is like just picking the cream, and we pay nickels and dimes for this on a trip like this.
Yeah. Here's my overview for this.
Tons and tons of camera stuff.
There were only a couple scores this trip in the entire thing. For my initial impression, I don't remember exactly where I paid for all this stuff. Most of it was kind of hard to buy camera stuff this trip. There just wasn't a lot of it, and the stuff I found was priced up a bit.
We knew that going in.
Yeah, so the only stuff I bought was really interesting stuff, and mostly bread and butter. There weren't a lot of huge scores here. I paid up for most of what I got. It's
well,
cool.
This,
yeah, it's really cool though.
Official Girl Scout camera.
A lot of people will recognize them, so they aren't as much as you would think. But here's one. Here's a Girl Scout camera. Here's another one.
We paid $5 for that.
Yep.
And we paid probably the same for that one.
That one's pretty cool though. It's a Gem Junior Girl Scout camera.
It's 4 times, 5 times, 6 times your money.
Yeah, so there are a couple cool ones in here. And this one I don't know anything about. The Spiegel Elf. It's a UK camera or something similar to that. Not so in the US. That's why I haven't heard of it.
So I'm looking through here though. I see lens on the movie camera. Lenses back there. Lenses. You know, those are some money, right?
Yeah, because this is a good one. Because I'm going to have to check for fungus. It's probably going to have minor fungus, but we paid $40 for this another lens, which is a lot more than we usually pay for it. We'll sell the one lens for probably $60 if it has fungus, probably $120 if it doesn't. The other lens here for probably $50, and then the camera for $30 or $40. So it's good, but we paid up for
here you
some
got
stuff a little more.
Konica and Top
This one's a score.
Well, yeah.
Pay $2 for that one or $3. Unbelievable. If it works, it's going to be $150, maybe a little bit more. If it doesn't work, it actually has a lens hood on there. That lens hood is a rare one. Okay, anyway, that one's going to be still $50, $60.
You got self-timers galore.
That one's a cool one. Yep.
You got like 10 self-timers here.
Yep. Now we have one. We have more.
There's one there.
It's a rangefinder. Might be another one here somewhere.
There's
Oh, that's right. We picked up this one. Don't crush
yeah.
that case. Be really careful with that one.
Crush it. I just put it right there. Talk
museum,
about it. Talk about
museum piece.
Talk about the museum piece a little bit.
I want to say it's the #1 rarest HIT style like vending machine. I don't know what you exactly call them, but miniature cameras. But it is one of the very rarest models.
What
of this
years?
One. 1950s.
Okay, so back in the 50s, they had mechanical arcade machines.
Yep, that's one theory.
And claw machines and all these kind of things, and they had the camera in there as one of the higher end perks. This also could have been a tourist camera.
Yep.
Or a spy camera, or trick camera, or kids camera, all those
Exactly.
things.
There's many different theories on how these came to be. There's not a lot of information.
The point is, we paid what?
Paid like $30 for this one.
And it turns out to be one of the rarest of the rare.
I'm glad I looked it up. I wouldn't have bought this for $30 any other way, but if I had looked it up.
Low end.
Low end. I'm going to list this. I'll say what I'm going to list it for. There's very few examples out there. I'm going to be listing this at $350 or $400.
Now, this look of cameras has some that are on the low end are worth what?
$20 to $100 for most of them. And most of even the rare ones are $150 at most. This one is
ultra rare.
Special.
For whatever
Very
reason,
special.
there it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Old Mexico.
Old Mexico. Never would have known.
Be very careful with this case, though.
All right.
Conditions, everything on those.
What about your Bedford Flex?
This is what I'm saying about bread and butter interesting items that we paid too much for. This is a cool one, no doubt, but I think we paid $5 for that. It's probably going to go for $30. Needs a little bit of repair.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nope. It's cool. That's why I picked it up.
All right.
Same with the Anscar Ready Flex, not worth a lot. Just haven't seen one. So
yeah, so we have fun with the camera
Definitely,
stuff here.
Definitely.
Why
this is cool too.
Whoop.
This isn't worth a lot, but it has the Falcon lens cap. I've never ever seen that. I've had 20 of these, never seen one of those. So that's the
lens
only...
cap could be worth as much as the camera.
Well, I might sell it with the camera and then sell the camera as having the lens cap, and it'll go for $60 or $70 instead of $20.
Why did we pick up a Canon dial again?
I like those. Those are awesome. And this is a 35. This is a really, really rare one, by the way. 35 Mark II. This is the hard to find one right there.
It's a failed
Along
technology.
with the Bell and Howell.
Failed technology.
I'm going to list it as parts are not working, not even going to test it. Just that's how I'm going to sell them from now on.
We've sold like 5 of those over the last 5 years, and 2 of them have come back.
I think we sold 3 of them and 2 have come back.
Oh, it's the worst.
I'm going to start selling as parts. I'm not even going to try to test them or say they work.
Nobody reads it.
Because they work, nobody gets it.
Okay, so this is our haul.
Yep. This is the haul.
Let us know what you think.
Lettuce.
Do you think we scored? Do you think we're all wet?
Think we're crazy?
Do you think we're crazy? Wow, look at that.
Whoa. I'm blank. They have fisheye on there now. So you'd be like over...
So, I've already negotiated a deal with my partner, Lon, my wife, where I think we're still going to be going to Denver the rest of the year, most Saturdays to go to the flea market. I just like buying too much. I could care less if I list it all. I'm just going to pile this place full until it's a hoarder's hole.
I was going to say.
Actually, in reality, I'm going to start listing like a madman.
I'm really going to be interested to look this thing up. This is a really weird light mirror we picked up, a Scan Deluxe. Never even heard of it, can't find it anywhere. Has a General Motors badge. I had a hunch when I first bought it that looks very similar to General Motors. And now I'm looking at it. That's it right there. That's got to be it.
Some light meters
has a waist level finder. I've never seen one like that.
Some are worth
that's
big bucks.
Original case. Didn't pay a lot. I paid $3. I had to bargain her down from $25.
Woo! That's because she looked up light meters high to low and found the high was $325.
I'm not... Light mirrors for the most part aren't worth anything. That was a total... Just because I liked it. I haven't seen one like it. Might be actually pretty good though now that if it's actually General Motors, which they did make some camera stuff. I've seen that before.
Take a look at that. Look at his foot.
It's out there.
I'm gonna keep that thing. There's no reason. I'm gonna take that guy and I'm gonna mount something else on there. In fact, this doesn't look too bad. Although you got to ask yourself, these are 2 Milwaukee beers that can Blatz and Schlitz collide? Okay, are you doing the pose?
Yeah, I was trying to do the pose here.
It's not that easy. I mean, he's pretty
I've
stout.
got it right here.
Not bad. You need a foamy mug.
I need one right here. Yeah.
pay $20 for that.
That's what I need.
The guy said 20, and I was like,
Run for the
"Are you kidding?" I'll take it. I would have took. You could have charged me more.
Skateboards too. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah.
Not worth much.
Your personal buys.
I don't know if they're personal. Whatever. Yeah. They probably have to be.
Well, look, we bought some dumb stuff.
Yeah, the funny thing is I like skateboards, but I can never use them up. I have a skateboard I've had for 2 years. I can't seem to break it, so that's
How many skateboards do you own?
3 or 4 more than scooters. And I was in a scooter. I can't skateboard. It's the funny thing.
You own like 50.
Yeah, that's the funniest
They're
thing.
all over
I have
my
4 of them.
garage. They just plug.
Yep.
Oh, it's terrible.
Funny.
Well, skateboards, boo.
Do some tricks. I actually had my first kickflip the other day. So I'm
My
cool now.
$2 paper things, which I'll probably end up selling for $50 in a bundle. Boo! I wish I wouldn't have bought them. Don't know what I was thinking.
Well, you never know. You don't look them up.
The poor guy.
Millions.
The poor.
The rare ones.
The poor guy at the rummage sale had the worst stuff, and I just could not walk away without
Sometimes
buying
you have to
something
do that.
from him. Oh,
That's how you have to
it's
do it.
terrible.
Charity work.
Okay, what's your favorite item on this table?
This table.
It's a dang long video here.
This Minori self-timer in the box. We've picked up literally 100 self-timers. We've even picked up a self-timer collection. I've never seen one in the box. Not necessarily worth a whole ton because we've had them in the case with the manual. But look, $1.10 in the 1940s or 50s.
Awesome.
Super cool.
My favorite item. I'm gonna have a hard time. I'm gonna have a hard time saying favorite item.
It's either fish or the Miller, isn't it?
No, you know what I really think is my favorite item? The Herbies.
Oh.
The VW bugs.
Those are
Those are
cool.
super cool.
Yeah, cool.
Super quality, super detailed. That was at a church rummage sale. I could
Yep.
not believe it. And it was so funny because it says 40 firm and 50 firm. And I said, is that really firm?
It says first day, too.
And then what we did on that is we bought those for 40 and 50. And then we bought like 6 other things for next to nothing
We bought
because
some watches that are...
they just kept throwing them
They're
in.
really good ones. They're
They
really
threw,
good watches.
They threw everything else
really
in.
good
So
watches.
bundle away.
I forget what was in there, but there was a really good watch in there, I remember. Oh, the Accutron. The Accutron that's gonna be $100. I didn't even show that.
Right.
It's funny. It's so
Well-
ironic. I'm not even gonna talk about it.
Now, here's the other deal.
The ironic
This
thing
guy
about
was
that-
firm on his Bush sign. And what else did we get into him with right away? Some cameras.
Yeah. Had some cameras in there, which...
He would not go down.
No, not at all.
So it was
First day.
It was first day. So he's like, "Oh, I can't go down. I can't go down. I can't change my prices." And I'm like, "Okay, you don't have to. We'll just bundle."
Yep.
And I bundled in this $10 cooler, and it totally changed his mood. I said, "You don't have to reduce your prices. We'll just bundle."
Yep.
It totally changed his mood. He kicked $50 off that and some cameras to bundle.
Yep.
And he'll always remember us. So when we see him again, we'll have a lot of fun.
Yep.
Do we have fun?
Yep. Had fun.
Do we
Well,
have fun? Are we still having fun?
Still having fun. So I'll say one ironic, funny thing on this watch. The funny thing is you can't see this watch. It's funny that I'm talking about.
Where is it?
Well, let's go to it here.
Let's go.
Yep.
Let's go. We only have bandwidth to worry
I
about.
haven't showed you.
Why can't I hang my key sign? It's so annoying. It's because it's not beer. Maybe I need to write beer on there with magic marker.
This is a Bolivar Accutron, which was a really
Whoa.
funky technology used by both Omega and Bolivar back in the 50s, or no, probably 60s, 70s, somewhere in there.
Wow, that's a 30-year span. You
Yeah,
just
well, they
flew.
invented it in the 50s, and it was made all the way up to the 80s or something. They're high-end watches. It was a smooth, sweeping second. They said it's the watch that doesn't tick, it hums.
Woo.
That was their thing. It had tuning fork in there.
Woo.
Anyway, the ironic thing is this had smooth, sweeping seconds. That's his big claim to fame. This one has no second hand.
Why is that?
That's just how it was.
So
Super
what?
ironic. The weirdest thing ever.
So I don't understand.
Well, it still keeps time with the minute and hours. A lot of dress watches had that, so they're just following the style. But they have this super technology that's really cool because you still hear the humming, I guess, but it has a smooth second hand. That's the
All right.
claim to fame. It doesn't have one.
All right, better
Cool.
better yet, and then we'll end this.
Huh? And there's
Tell
a
me-
box for one too.
Whoa, what?
There's a box for one too that goes for $30. That I paid. I make 10 times my money on that from all the watches that are in that box. I
Oh
got it
my
thrown in for
goodness.
free. Didn't even know.
Tell me about your new display.
It's not full right now because I'm like working on it. a
These
little
are
bit.
your personal watches?
These are my personal watches right now. Some of them in the collection and some most I actually wear. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I took the Rolex off there, took a couple off there, but still cool.
Super cool.
Yep.
I like it.
Yep. Just super glue a piece back on there.
Okay, so I haven't said this in a while. If you've made it all the way through this and you haven't given us a thumbs up, come on. Give us a thumbs up. We like you too. Right?
Yep.
We've enjoyed doing this video. We appreciate everybody's comments and we appreciate you watching. We love picking. We like picking. We like listing.
Yep.
We're going to get into some sort of a
effect there.
Huh?
This funky effect.
Well, yeah, you can really
rotate it in the frame.
You can really.
I mean, I was done like this.
Who needs a gimbal?
Yeah.
Look at this. You can get all.
Yeah, all the angles.
Oh my gosh!
Man,
nobody gets what's going on there. My arm is
like bend it all the way down, and I can just like float back.
Hey,
up.
by the way, I ran 2 miles today. I'm back.
Me too.
I'm back on. Oh, you too.
Yeah, first one in a week. First 2 miles.
Not me, man. I'm 5 days a week. Okay, we appreciate your comments. I hope to get to them. Again, nobody said if it makes any sense for me to go back and answer old comments. I enjoy your comments. I enjoy your questions. I enjoy everything about this.
That's true. I'll lose after dealer sat in it. It goes all the way back now. Not sure what that says about anything, but...
Oh, I got to show one more thing.
It's kind of busted.
So, anyway, we appreciate the thumbs up. We appreciate you watching. Oh my goodness. This is something.
The score of the century. Okay, no. Joking.
Yeah, we're not
Just kidding.
We're not gonna sell this one. Whoa.
Guys, we paid for that. Found a dealer, right?
Well, we're this is our in-office contest. We're hoping to win that.
And if
Sony.
you complete this contest, you could win a 4K 2016 Sony TV.
Yeah.
65 inches. This TV. I'm just trying to go with those
65 inches.
I don't have it. I don't have the little game show thing down.
It's gonna look good on that wall. I'm gonna have to make
you.
some. I'm gonna have to make some adjustments, but it came in that big box, and what I like, upscale everything you watch.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was impressed that's the 2016 model. We didn't get a cheapie here. We got the newest and greatest.
Whatever.
That's rare. Usually.
So that came in today at about noon after I'd stayed up all night, and then I was supposed to get it early in the morning, and oh my goodness.
The technology it has in there, X Reality Pro, so like extra reality, extra realistic, professional. Woo!
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I found this other watch that's trying to show off.
What?
This is an early quartz watch made by Novus, and that is probably, I'm just gonna say tentatively 50 plus, probably $100. Early quartz watches that just have the digit display and are from the late 70s are quite...
We have a lot of fun, but if we weren't so humble, I guess we would just roll around in our money.
We're going to buy a Rolex here in 10 years.
10 years.
Big banana peeler.
I want to buy a Land Cruiser. Okay, tomorrow is Tuesday, back to normal hopefully, doing some listing, showing off some of that. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Consider picking well, and then consider listing often. Dealer out. Oh, still here.
Hopefully both, not just one of those.
Wheeler out too.
Gonna add that. Hey, Wheeler!
Dealer production.